guys, welcome to the session. Welcome to Sprintex ICSE. This is Sweta, your English master teacher at Vedantu. Today we are going to start with hearts and hands, which is one of my personal favorites. I hope you have already visited the Umang series related to this particular chapter where I have explained the entire lesson. So today we will be dealing with the very important question and answers from this particular chapter. So we will be dealing with the questions just as it comes in your papers, 3 marks and the 4 marks questions. So we have already completed till horse and two goats. I hope you have already visited all those and missed and did not miss any session. So few more sessions to go, guys. Four more sessions, right? Yeah, four more sessions to go, and then we will be done with our literature part. Okay, so physics schedule is till 26th, math is also till 26th. Apart from that, SST, chemistry and bio is going to continue till 27th along with English. So before starting, guys, let's hit the like button. Let's subscribe to the channel if we haven't, and let's keep sharing the video amongst your friends. Okay, so let us begin with a beautiful quote, okay, which is quite relevant to the topic that we are going to cover, to the theme of the lesson that we are going to cover. That is definitely kindness and compassion, right? So here you remember who showed kindness to whom, Hannah? So the nature of humanity, its essence is to feel another's pain as one's own. So the glum-faced man, remember, appearance versus reality is also one of the themes of this particular story. Let me remind you that. So remember the glum-faced man who was the real marshal. He felt the pain of the other one, right? Even though he was a convict. Okay. So, and to act that pain away, very, very, very important. It's not just to feel, but also to act. Only then it's going to elevate that pain, right? There is nobility in compassion, a beauty in empathy. So all these compassion, empathy was shown by that man, right? The marshal, okay? A grace in forgiveness. A beautiful, beautiful quote which is very relevant to the topic that we are going to do. And you can use this quote, okay, if you are asked any question related to theme of kindness, you can definitely make, use of this quote. That is the exact point of, coming up with quote relevant to the topic that we deal every day so that you can use it in your answers appropriately. Okay, so this is the homework question, guys. In case you haven't been able to answer the question, you can take help from here. Thank you so much for posting all your lovely comments in the homework answers. I really love reading all your comments. So keep doing that, guys, and definitely you'll have a practice also. And here we go with the very first passage. At Denver, there was an influx of passenger into the coaches, etc., etc. So this is the very beginning. The two were handcuffed together. So here we see that glum-faced man and two young men. One of handsome presence with a bold, frank countenance's face and manner. The other a ruffled, glum-faced man, heavily built and roughly dressed. So from here, basically, when he's describing the describing the appearance of the two men, the author is definitely delving on the theme of appearance versus reality, which we will come to know, at the end of the story. Okay, so we should not judge by the appearance. Okay, that is very, very important. Okay, so now let's have a look at the very first question. Who was the pretty young lady? Describe her. So remember, there was a pretty young lady who got up. Okay, so that was Miss Fairchild, who was seated in one of the coaches in a train on the train to Denver. She was elegantly dressed and surrounded by all the luxurious comfort, which described her as an experienced traveler. So from here also you can take points from the for character sketch. Let's say if you are asked any question related to the character sketch of Miss Fairchild, you can take points from here, right? She had a lovely smile, and from her appearance she seemed to be a rich, She seemed to be rich, who had a passion for traveling. Okay, she was acquainted with one of the two passengers. Remember whom was she acquainted with? With that man who was handsome, you know? And she threw a lovely smile to him, which made her cheek slightly pink. That is, she was blushing. She had she had an acquaintance in that train, and that was one of the two young men. Next question is, here the linked couple seated themselves. Who's that linked couple? The two young men. What linked them? Remember the handcuffs. How was the two couple linked? Sorry, how was the couple linked, not the two couple? Okay, what do you understand by this, right? So you have two questions over here. That means this is of 3 marks, so you can say 1.5 for each. 1.5 plus 1.5. Now I'll give you one very small and very helpful tip. Whenever you have these questions where you have where you can distribute the marks, let's say you have two questions and the total mark is 3, so we take it as 1.5 plus 1.5. So these are the questions which are very scoring as compared to those where you have only single question and of 3 marks. So if you get an option, guys, please go for these questions where you can distribute the marks. These are very, very scoring. Okay. So there was too much crowd on that express. A pretty young stylish woman was sitting, and two men who were handcuffed together entered the coach. One of them, as we've seen, was fair and handsome, and the other was rough and strongly built, so complete contrast. Okay, so here we can also say that the other couple was a foil. I mean, the other man was a foil. The two characters, the two young men, they were foil to each other. That means they had a complete contrast in character, in appearance, right? Yeah. Okay, character also and appearance also, both. They were linked together as they couldn't be separated from each other, but they were what? They were linked together, they were joined together. The handcuff had joined them together. So how were they linked? They were linked by the handcuffs. Okay, by the handcuff which had joined together. It means that one of them must be a criminal. The other was, so one is the convict, the other was the marshal. Okay, so that was the answer. Moving ahead with the next question. Next passage is, you'll excuse me for speaking, miss, but I see you're acquainted with the marshal here. So who's speaking over here? The actual marshal, the real marshal is speaking, right? So what? So that is what you're doing out here. A marshal. Okay. So this is the lady speaking, right? So let's see what's the question. What explanation was given by the other man to the young man about Easton, about Mr. Easton? So the other man is who? The marshal, the real marshal, right? Okay, and the young man, that is Mr. Easton, the next the character who is actually the convict, okay, or the criminal. So when the other man saw that the young lady was acquainted with the handsome man, that is, of course, who is Mr. Easton, right? And seeing him handcuffed, he sensed Easton's embarrassment. So here we find empathy. Here we find kindness. Here we find compassion. Because, and here we also find understanding, right? So definitely hearts and hands. Okay. So this also leads us to the title. So so that is why he saw that this lady is in a state of bewilderment. Bewilderment means she was puzzled. Okay. So he called Easton. So he called Easton as a marshal to save Mr. Easton from the embarrassment, right? Who was talking to, who was, taking him to the Leavenworth prison for 7 years of imprisonment in case of counterfeiting. So basically, he called himself as the prisoner and portrayed Mr. Easton as the marshal. Okay, so as to save him from the embarrassment, because the lady was already acquainted with him. All right. Next is, why did Miss Fairchild call Mr. Easton dashing Western hero? Okay, so in the course of the conversation, so they start conversing with each other, and in the course of the conversation, the ruffled man, that is the real marshal, told Mr. Fairchild that he was being taken to Leavenworth prison. That is, of course, he is impersonating as the convict over here for counterfeiting. And as the conversation continues, the woman was surprised to learn that Easton had given up the life in Washington to become a marshal in West. So that was kind of surprising, as we have seen over here itself in the passage. I'll show you the passage once more. So that is what you're doing out here, a marshal. So this is kind of showing her surprise. Okay, so of course we all know, we come to know later that this is not true actually, right? She was impressed by this and therefore called him a dashing Western hero who rides and shoots and faces all kind of dangers. Faces all kinds of dangers, right? So that is what made her remark uh, this one, Mr. Easton, as a dashing Western hero. Now, the next passage, guys. I love the West, said the girl irrelevantly. That had no meaning. It was irrelevant, out of context, but still she said that. Her eyes were shining softly. So we can understand the hearts of the title here, right? Here also. Okay, because we see that there is a kind of attachment between, attachment of the girl with the with Mr. Easton when she is, her eyes are shining softly. She looked away. She's kind of blushing. Okay, so all these show that she was kind of interested. It was more than friendship with Mr. Easton. So how did Mr. Fairchild support the life of the West? Okay, so she loved the life at West because her eyes had that brightness, and also we can say that she was also kind of interested in Mr. Easton. Okay, she looked out of the car window. She began to speak honestly and plainly. She and her mother, okay, had spent the summer in Denver. She had gone back to her home when her father was ill. The young lady could live and be happy in the. So she's kind of showing her interest in the life at West, showing her likings for the life in West, right? So she supported the view of Mr. Easton as money was not everything, right? So all these definitely proves that she was in support of she loved the life at West. She favored the life at West. So I hope guys you are enjoying the session, and if you want to join us further and gain 100% knowledge and 100% marks, you can just visit the link in the description box and pin comment, and you can have unlimited live classes with fun and high level quizzes. You can compete with the students throughout the world, and you also have interactive live replays. So that means the replays are also interactive. You have the quiz questions even there, the leaderboards even there. So that is the exact difference between the YouTube sessions and the regular platform, because in YouTube sessions we have limited number of live classes with a limited number of quiz sessions, but in our regular platform, all the sessions, I mean, you have unlimited access to live classes, and you can also have the quiz questions in every live session, and I mean in every session, and also even in the replay. So that is something which is super amazing, super exciting, and you can download the content of the handwritten notes of the master teachers. In class doubt solving is one of the best features that we have, guys, for all of you in the platform. We have class teachers in the class who will be solving all your doubts. So we have a special team catering to this special need, because we've realized how important this doubt solving is for all of you. And after each and every session, you've got the assignment. If you solve that, you will understand how much you grasp the content. Plus we also take quality tests, so we can definitely have if you give the test, we will definitely give you the performance report. You can understand how much you have scored, right, and how much you need to work more, right? Plus, even then, if you have some problem in any particular chapter, you have chapter wise micro courses which are absolutely free. Okay, of course, live and crash courses. A lot of crash courses have come up, guys, for all of you. So all these you can join without paying any extra amount. Okay, that too in less price. So you look at the link in the description box, and this is the code that you can use, coupon code, and we are here with you till the end. And the 50% off that we are having right now for you, this has been extended, guys. It's not just till 14th. It was there initially till 14th, but we have extended this so that maximum number of you can avail this wonderful offer, guys. That is a 50% discount. So you can see SWREPRO. This is the price, that is, you can see the 50% off. That gives you 3 rupees, 3.3 rupees per class, which is very, very, very affordable. I'm sure, guys, you can definitely it will be very helpful for all of you, because 9th and 10th, these are the 2 years that you have to concentrate on your conceptual things. You have to clarify all your doubts. You have to gain a deeper understanding, and a very good guidance is required, and we are there to help you out in all these. So guys, quickly visit the link and do not miss out this amazing offer, guys. So now we'll see the last two questions. The bound travelers rose to their feet, Easton with the same slow smile on his face, etc., etc. I must go on to Leavenworth, right? So this is how this conversation is ending. And the question is, what reason did the other man, that is the marshal, the true marshal, the rough looking man, the glum faced man, give for his going for a smoke, and why did he do so? So again, we see two questions. So this is a good one. Miss Fairchild kept on talking to Mr. Easton but her constant attention was towards the handcuffs. Yes. So she was constantly staring at the handcuffs. So in order to ease the situation, the glum faced man, because he wanted to he wanted to save Mr. Easton for further embarrassment, because the conversation was going on and he was apprehending what would the conversation, if it goes on further, where would it lead to? Would Miss Fairchild come to actually know? Would the fact be revealed? So he did not want to take that risk, and therefore, he asked him to take to the smoker's room, as he was half dead for a pipe. But of course, that was just an excuse. He wanted to save Mr. Easton from that situation. He also was worried that Mr. Easton might reveal something about himself, as I told you, that he should not tell the young woman right now. Okay, so that was not the situation right now. So he intervened and requested him to take to the smoker's room, so to save him from the embarrassment. Okay, guys. Now the last extract, the two men sidled down the aisle to the smoker, etc., etc. Say, okay, and the last one. Here the travelers are talking about, why? Oh, didn't you catch on? Say, did you ever know an officer? Now here, this is the revelation of the surprise to the readers. So here, the readers are revealed the real fact. And this is the twist, or this is the ending with a twist. Okay? Right, so here you have to explain the significance of hands. So we see this in the title of the story, Hearts and Hands. So what's the significance of the hands? The story begins with two people, okay, handcuffed together. Okay, it is handcuffing that leads to the hands part of the title. Very, very important question this is. Please concentrate here. Here, this would also lead to the theme of the story. So if you are asked a question related to the title or the theme, you can take points from here. In fact, it is the hands which is significant for revealing the true identities of the two men. Miss Fairchild was misled by the unnamed man about the identity of Mr. Easton, as he wanted to save Mr. Easton from an embarrassing situation by revealing that he was a convict and was being taken by him to the prisoner. So it was an astute passenger in the coach who actually discovered, okay, that a marshal would not handcuff his own right hand with that of a convict, as was the case with Mr. Easton and Marshall. So this is also talking about the revelation, the surprise element, whatever you call it, right? And at the end of the story, we are we actually come to know of the real fact, right? So this is the entire hand part of the story. So this is an important question, guys. Okay, so with that we have completed the 3 and the 4 marks questions. I hope you've understood the very important questions, and the rest of the other questions we've already done in the Umang series along with the explanation part, guys. So please do watch that. And this is your homework answer. The last passage again, and this is the question. Which remark made one of the two passengers sitting nearby create suspicion in our mind? Okay, very, very easy question. I hope you'll be able to answer it in the comment section. So do not miss that. And the next session is going to be on a face in the dark. With that, guys, let's visit the link in the description box and use the coupon code as WREPRO. And this is the okay. And do not miss out the video. Do not miss out sharing the video amongst your friends, liking the video, and also commenting on the homework question. Till then, take care. Bye bye. See you all in the next session.